I've just been really, really swamped, and I'm gonna be swamped for the next couple of weeks. Sometimes when I don't get to update the website, you can always go on the YouTube channel. And the videos are always available on the YouTube channel, so feel free to go over and look at those. And if you don't find them on the website, you'll find them on the YouTube channel. Okay, now, as far as the quiz goes, write the equation of a line whose slope is 2/3 and whose y-intercept is -4, and virtually every person in the room got it right. I think what they saw was that the slope, m, is 2/3, so they put the 2/3 in place of the m, and the y-intercept's -4, so they put the -4 there. I think 2 people, maybe 3, forgot to put the x here. It's very important that the x be included because the general equation is y equals mx plus b. That x is, it doesn't leave. Just like the y equals is always part of the answer, so is the x. Yes? Let's get through this first. Okay, next. Write the equation of a line parallel to y equals 5x with the same intercept as, or the y-intercept as y equals -3x plus 3. And in this particular case, what we have is, what we have is, again, y equals mx plus b. Slope, if it's parallel, it's the same slope, so the slope has to be 5. And it says it's the same y-intercept as this guy, so it has to be 3. So therefore, I get y equals 5x plus 3. Now we go to the next one, and I did a bad thing in that I didn't leave you an answer space, so I just looked for you to write the equation around here. The first thing I want to do is I want to really circle what the directions tell you to do. The directions say to write the equation, okay? A lot of people drew the line, a lot of people wrote the slope, not too many people wrote the equation. You have to remember to write the equation. So if I'm writing the equation, I'm getting into y equals mx plus b. Now, if I just graph it, here's 3, 0, and here is 4, -2. So I just extend the line, and I realize that the line hits the y-axis at 6, so therefore the y-intercept is 6. That's why it's plus 6 at the end. And the slope, if I just count it, it's down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Okay? So y equals -2x plus 6. Okay, now, as far as number 4 goes, look at the directions on number 4. It says, what is the slope? It doesn't say what is the equation of a line. So all you needed to put down was the slope, which is 4 over 2 or 2. Okay? Any questions about that? Yeah, tons of people had the slope right, but they wrote the equation of the line. All right, so now let's take a look at today's lesson sheet. The Pythagorean theorem drawing. Where's my view here? There we go. Okay. All right, this is not going to be easy. Make sure you're facing forward. You are absolutely, positively, without a doubt, going to have your, as we would have said when I was a kid, you're going to need to have your thinking caps on. Now, just for my own edification, how many people here expect to take the state assessment test? 2? The state test, you could opt out or you could take the test, whichever you do, the school respects it. Michelle, you're looking at me with this glassy-eyed look on your face, like you have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, well, we have definitely at least one. They put one of these on the state assessment test a couple of years ago. It might have been the algebra regents, might have been the state assessment test. I've been doing this so long I lose track, I'm not even sure. I just remember rolling my eyes and saying to myself, are you kidding me? This is like an impossible question for most kids to get right. And it's double impossible because what most kids did with this particular question is most kids, whatchamacallit, I'm just marking this off here. Most kids couldn't even figure out what's in the diagram, let alone what they wanted you to do with the figures in that diagram. So, let's do the best we can. at trying to explain this. This is an incredibly difficult question, and if you're able to understand what I'm about to go through with this question, it's really quite a credit to you. So, all right, the first thing I need is Candace's paper so I can draw the question.
Do it all by yourself.
All right. So, all right, now, here's where it's really hard to see. Okay, this is N, 12, 4, 3. Okay. Now, again, this is, I cannot emphasize strongly enough just how difficult this question is. What makes this question so difficult is I don't think you can necessarily see one right triangle, let alone the two right triangles that are in the problem. Now, I'm going to use a different color to make them stand out for you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see them.
This is one,
Wait, what?
right there on the bottom of the rectangular prism.
Oh, I thought that was
And
up.
this is 2.
Oh, those aren't the two that I thought.
Okay. Now, that blue one is like flat, and then the red one comes like
Wait,
this.
but those aren't right triangles. Those
Yes,
are
they
like,
are right
They
triangles.
look like obtuse triangles.
No, they're definitely right triangles, okay? Picture a rectangular prism. A rectangular prism would look
Oh, I see it.
something like, say, this box right
It's kind
here.
of like the angle that they're on.
Yeah, this box is a good example of a rectangular prism. I put it here. What we're dealing with is the triangle here is like the one on the bottom, and then one that cut right through the middle of the tissue box would be one that is the red one. Okay, so let's just concentrate on the blue. I don't want to think about the red one at all right now. I just want to concentrate on the blue one. I'm going to call this distance here, see, this is a leg and this is a leg, and here is your right angle here. So I'm going to call this distance across from it, the hypotenuse. I'm going to call that x. So I'm going to do 3 squared plus 4 squared, leg squared plus leg squared, equals hypotenuse squared, which is x squared. 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 9 and 16 is 25, and as we learned, we now need to square root, so x is 5. And what that means is that this side here has a length of 5. Manny, that's an outstanding choice of drink that you have brought to class today. Well done.
What drink?
Show everybody your drink.
Oh, I want to taste my
Little Costco trip for the Cardenas family, huh?
Oh!
There we go. If you want to take the chance, and if you label your drink, if you bring it here in the morning, I'll pop it in the fridge, and you'll have a nice cold drink when you in the class. Notice how I didn't say a cold one, because that implies alcohol, and clearly that's not going to happen. Okay, I don't even drink, let alone any of my students drinking. So, yeah, she's Jover as a Sudge. Okay.
Oh, wait. I got that.
All right. Now, I really should have done all the work I just did in blue because it was for the blue triangle. So let me, I'm just going to box this in blue so that you realize that that's for the blue triangle. Now, for the red triangle, which I'm now going to turn green because I don't want it to get confused, and that's 5. Now, here's my right angle. So the hypotenuse is across the way. We're going to call that n. And this length here is 12, and this length we just found was 5. So leg squared plus leg squared is the hypotenuse squared, which is n squared. 5 squared is 25, 12 squared is 144, equals n squared. 25 plus 144 is 169, God bless, is equal to n squared. N squared is 169, I just rewrote that, I should have square rooted it. and is 13. Okay? N works out to be 13. And that is the correct length. Now, does anybody have any questions about that? Okay. For the purposes of today's lesson, we're going to do this one step at a time because I forgot to do it before class, so I have to do it now. If the first 3 rows can come with me, 1, 2, 3, come.
I will feel one about that.
Okay, rest of that side of the room.
What?
Rest of that side.
Yeah, I slapped you in my face.
Nothing in there. Oh, see, there's nothing in there. Whoa.
Anybody who doesn't have their calculator yet, come up and grab one.
No, he's 10 times taller than you. He's like 6'8", like 5'9".
Now, let's figure out how your calculator works. I don't even remember.
13 divided
Okay,
by...
can everybody stop? I need you to get your calculator out. On your calculator, we're going to see if we push the square root button first or if we do 169 first. Everybody hit 169 on your calculator. 169. Now, type in square root, which is usually above the x squared button.
What's in that?
Oh wait. Oh wait, I think you have to press second first.
Yeah, you would have to hit second, yeah.
Second. What?
And does it give you an answer or does it give you
No,
like a
you have-
blank? All right, so clear it out. This time do second x squared, which is square root, and then do 169. And then do equals, and it should tell you 13.
No, it says 1.4.
It's 2.
Then you didn't put 169.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I
You
got
did something
Wait,
different.
what? How did you do?
Do it again. I said clear it out, do it again.
Cleared out.
I'm so confused.
Oh, God, guys. Alex, don't talk. Listen very carefully. If you didn't get the right answer, just clear your calculator out. Do exactly what I say, don't do anything different. Now, do second, there's a second button, usually it's in the upper left.
Oh, yeah.
Then go to x squared, hit that button. Then type in 169, and then hit equals.
I got
And
it.
it'll tell you 13. Okay, so, sometimes when we come up with a square root that's not a perfect root, it comes out to a decimal. So everybody, let's figure out what the square root of 5 is. Everybody do second x squared, which is square root, second x squared, square root, and then do 5 equals, and what does it say?
2.2.
Okay, and then the last part of what goes on, Melvin, put your backpack where it belongs, turn it face forward. Now, boys, the last thing you have to pay attention to is where they ask you to round it off to. Do they ask the nearest tenth? Then it would be, God bless, like 2.2. Do they ask nearest hundredth or thousandth, etc.? So as we go through examples, we'll have to learn to pay attention to that. Okay. Now, let's do some distances, but this time we're going to do those distances in the quadratic formula. Okay? Or I should say not the quadratic formula, I apologize. Graphing. Show you how we do this. Ready? Here is a Cartesian plane, and this is just the first quadrant of the plane. It's not the whole thing. I don't have to divide it into 4. Everybody touch 0, 0 right there. On your graph, touch 0, 0. We're all in the first quadrant. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So we just did 0, 0. That's A. Now do 3, 4. Everybody make a dot on 3, 4. Jocelyn, you had any game here? If I touch 3, 4, it's going to be right here. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now draw that line segment right there. Now the question is, well, how long is that line segment? And the thing is that you can't like take out a ruler and measure. You might be tempted to do that. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to drop a perpendicular here from here straight down to the x-axis, and then what do I make?
Triangle.
I make a right triangle. And what rule do we know always works in a right triangle?
Leg squared.
Right, leg squared plus leg squared is hypotenuse squared, the Pythagorean theorem. So I draw my right angle and I go across, and then I can write leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared, like I should have in the beginning. How long is this leg over here? Just count it. It's 4. How long is this leg?
3.
3. So I do 3 squared plus 4 squared equals, I'm going to leave it h squared. Why do you think I used h? Because why?
It was hypotenuse.
What do we call that length? Well, what do I call the length that goes from here to here? In the right triangle, what do we call it? The hypotenuse. That's why I used h. What's 3 squared?
9.
9. What's 4 squared?
16.
Equals h squared. Same side, same operation. 25 is h squared. Square root, h equals 5. And if you didn't know the square root of 25 off the top of your head on the calculator, and sometimes kids will think like 12 and a half, just do it. Just do second square root 25, and you get what the correct answer is. Okay? Any questions? All right, let's scroll to the next one, and let's have you try what the next one is. Shania, you can go potty now. Okay, this time you're going to have to divide it into quadrants. You're going to have to run a line down the middle and a line down the middle. X and Y axes.
We already have one.
You do? Okay, good. Give you a minute or so, minute and a half to get that done. Okay. Question?
No, I won't.
Do you think you got the answer? Let's see. Let me just draw it out. Okay, so I'm going to draw my lines right down the middle here. This guy, for some reason, when I do this here, the dark lines, the axes, don't come out. So, not exactly sure why. All right, -2, -3 is down here. And 1, 5 is here. So I'm going to draw that line, then drop this down. Okay, how long's this side?
3.
3. How long's this side? 2, 4, 6, 8, good. Now, Ava, what did you get?
9 plus 72 equals 8 squared, and then 81 and then I got 81. We square root that as 9.
No, there's a mistake in there. I think it's actually a little bit of sloppy math, because you're doing everything correctly.
Yeah, 8 times 8.
And sloppy math is the last thing I worry about. I worry about doing it wrong. You're doing it right. So, check it out. The first leg, 8 is 100% right. The first leg is 3, so it's 3 squared. Plus, it's 100% right on the second leg. It's 8 squared, equals h squared. But here's where you made your little mistake. Ready? What's 3 squared, everybody? 9. What's 8 squared?
64.
Oh.
Equals h squared. And then when I do 9 plus 64, I get 73, not 81. Okay? Now, this is the big difference from yesterday. You ready? Davis, everything we've done today is identical to yesterday's lesson with 2 exceptions. First, we put it on a graphing grid, which personally I think is easier.
No.
Right? No, because we're going to do smart. But listen, we're also square rooting on your calculator and coming up with, in this case, like 8 point something.
Yeah, it was.
Hasta la vista, vaya con Dios, toodaloo, ciao, ciao. Arrivederci, smile a lot, ciao, arriva Zane. Adios, amigos y amigas. Cheerio, shoes, Gaddafi's. Oh, I gotta tell you tomorrow to make sure you bring the calculators back.
Wait, so can I stay after and help you with this?
No, the next class will just take them back, thanks.